to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. The temple of light, the temple of light, the temple of light. We are a people with a vision, one spirit on a mission, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, to love and liberate anyone who comes into contact with us, anytime, night or day. Yeah!
Thank you. And now for the announcements. Do we have any first-time guests worshiping with us this morning? Please stand so that an usher can place a sticker over your heart. If you are a first-timer online, welcome to our hearts. We behold the Christ in you. The flowers this morning in celebration of fathers were exquisitely arranged by Mrs. Suko. Thank you for this wonderful display of beauty, Mrs. Suko. The significant event schedule. Please refer to the flyer with significant events for details. However, here are some items to note. A day for dads. Join us at 11 a.m. after the morning service and share your consciousness with the fathers in the congregation and our visitors. The cost of the contribution is $1,000. We promise information, vibes, and fun. Spiritual Mind Healing Service is on Tuesday at 6 p.m. with practitioner Vance Gardiner. An insightful and informative hour, so join us on the link that is shared through your email. The Art of Financial Planning. Make the choice to spend Saturday, June 24th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the temple. Our approved financial consoler, Dennis Williams, will assist you in developing the vision for your cash flow by creating a tree of her own design of your financial plan. The contribution is $2,000 per individual. If you bring 5 friends, your contribution is waived. Our 42nd anniversary. Our church is 42 years old on July 2nd, 2023. Reverend Cynthia Ambris, Centers for Spiritual Living Minister affiliated with CSL Las Vegas, will celebrate with us as she will join us on a Zoom to deliver our anniversary message. Please come celebrate with us. Bring your favorite food and share a potluck picnic with us. Additionally, bring tinned food items, fruits, vegetables, and grocery items, as the temple will be sharing this with the children in the Places of Safety for Children organization. Please bring these items in by Friday, June 30th. Kindly call the office if you have any queries. Come enjoy and share the love. Prayer support. We continue to respond to all requests for prayer. A practitioner is available to pray with you immediately following our Sunday service. Practitioner Courtney Johnson is on duty today. The number to call is 876-289-0907. If you want to speak to a practitioner, call 876-289-0907. Anytime from 8 a.m. to midnight, Monday to Friday. Pastoral counseling is also available, so please call the office for appointments. Donations, tithes, and offerings. Thank you for your generosity and for helping us to be a beacon of light in the world. If you wish to support our minister financially, kindly visit our donate page at donate.templeoflightesl.org, which has our banking details. Thank you, as together we support a world that works for everyone. This concludes the announcements. Please join me in the first hymn, Hymn of Praise, found on the flyer in the program and on the screen for our online congregants. Please stand.
of science, history teaching, God of futures yet unknown, God of holding, God of reaching, God of power beyond each throne. Take the fragments of our living, fit us to your finest scheme. Now forgiven and forgiving, make us free to dare and dream.
Thank you. Please be seated. Help me welcome to the podium this morning our special speaker, Uncle Mickey Bennett.
Thank you very much, Sebastian. Sebastian's father and I are really good friends. And just to sit and watch him, I can just imagine how proud a father his father is, because I'm a proud uncle. One of the things I've learned through the years is not to get too attached to your script when you're coming to make a presentation. Because when I was writing it as if I was coming to talk to a lot of young dads and pass on some information. Well, because we're online, I'm hoping that one or two young dads will benefit from some of the things I have to share. But what I have to share also, some of the moms will find, or some of the ladies in here will find it very, well, hopeful, insightful. I don't like washing dishes. Seriously speaking, I don't like washing dishes. I don't like mopping floors. I don't mind the other things. I love food shopping, as I probably mentioned before. I love food shopping, and I love to go home and still get a joy. Well, the joy is even greater now because I have 7 grandkids. And when they come to the house, that makes them just head straight for, One of my granddaughters said to me today, "Grandpa, you remember when you used to spoil us rotten?" I said, "Well, that is your parents' problem right now. You know, that's not my problem." And it is like that. Because of what I do, I'm a musician, producer, and I associate with a wide cross-section of young men across the island. And every now and then, there's a conversation that I cannot ignore as a parent and other thing. And on one situation, I heard some young men talking about their baby mothers and their baby mothers' parents and the thing. And I realized that there was something I could do. So I had an aunt who was running the studio, doing the business part of the studio. So I was talking to the young men and I said, "Listen, if you don't get a chance to take part in your kid's life, you are the one who is losing out." Because it was a blame to us. In other words, they were holding back the money because so and so. I said, "You are the one who is losing. If you don't forget up at nights and worry about the thing, you are the one who is losing." Because all of that is part of the whole package. The anxiety, the thing, I used to wonder my mother get up and seem to have a joy out of this extra sacrifice. I don't know if that's happened. It probably does happen to every adult. One day you get up and realize that you're becoming your mother. The lights always, there's always 2 or 3 lights that need to be turned off in the house. My mother was the one to complain, and she was always complaining about the dishes. So in her house, you couldn't go to sleep if the dishes were not washed. And probably that's where I got this whole thing about not washing dishes, because you're young and you're revolting. But there's a lot of miscommunication taking place. There's a lot of injustice done to things based on from mothers and grandmothers who label the fathers of some of these children as worthless from the word go. Discourage in other words, discourage a cordial relationship with them and everything. Don't want them yard. But curse when he's not there to provide financial thing or any kind of stuff, and encouraging the daughter to go to family court, which is probably the worst situation ever. So I spent 2-3 hours just talking to these young men about the joys of parenthood, and don't make nobody come between you and your picnic. Nobody mustn't come between you and your child. When it gets to the part where the court have to do it, you have failed. And so at one time at Grafton Road, I had 4 baby mothers coming to us at least once a month, collecting and signing. And I said to the gentleman, you can't call me a friend also if you're not supporting your picnic. So they would bring the money, until after a while, we decided to take it one step further. So we started like a mediation. And let me tell you, the problem that they sound like them was so big and thing, weren't very big. We're not very big. So if it's even once a month, this father got to sit down with this baby mother and talk about the baby. Because, I mean, parents of mine, I'm going going over to Mr. Bennett, and it's safe and thing, and them probably didn't know that this conversation was taking place. So I was allowing this child to witness a conversation between mom and dad, which is such a crucial thing. A lot of us take it for granted. So one of the things that we can't take for granted, those of us who grew up in this nuclear family, that most homes have parents that talk to each other. A lot of them, it don't happen a lot of times. I remember one of my sons was having a, when teenage argument one day, and one of my friends was there. And I was saying to him, no, you can't just move in and out. Tell me where you are, and so on, so regular things. And he was there, boy, I'm 16 now, and I must trust him and thing. And his friend that was there said to him, boy, you don't have no lucky to have a father who even care. And the relationship between me and my son changed that day. Another day, one of the things that I'm saying to all parents, interrogate your picnic them friends. Some of them have some right on the brink that just need a little nudging one side. So once them come to the house, I start asking questions, where you come from, school, that. So there was a shoot there one evening, and I was figuring if any of my kids were out at this time, I'd expect a phone call to say, listen, I'm down by so. So I said to him, you can borrow my phone to call your mommy, Him look at me strange. So I said, you don't want to call them? He said, I'm not care. I said, no, give me the number. I call the mother. Somebody answered the phone. Who is this? I said, listen, this is so-and-so's father, and your son is here. I just wanted to make him know him all right. What do you know? I said, no, he's okay. I'm just making him all right. So, and then she said, put him on the phone. And she was like, I don't want to know him. It's just so some people. So, went back on the phone. I said, listen, no, let me tell you how it is now. I'm one of the old-time kind of parents. So when my children out at a certain hour, them have to call and say, listen, I'm here, dear. And she said, oh, thank God, because I think there's some trouble him getting into. So they didn't worry. The concern wasn't about whether he was, as far as he was concerned, nobody cared at his house, that whether he was there or not. And so after that, every time it got to a certain hour, I'm doing there, him look at me, I look at him, and I just hand him the phone. And so we had this kind of relationship. Some youngsters, some parents just need a nudge in the right direction. Now, I don't remember the first time I came to this church, to the temple. But I remember why I decided to make this place my spiritual home. I witnessed a blessing. What's the name? A christening? A christening. It was the most beautiful ceremony I'd ever been a part of. And I'm saying, any father, any parent who is a part of that thing must feel special. Welcome this little angel from the realms of light. Whoa. And the flowers. And Reverend John is the boss when it comes to them kind of thing. And the flowers and the whole ceremony. one of the things that is lacking in our community is the absence of ceremonies. So whether it was in Africa or wherever, ceremonies were so important. Rites of passage. In other words, so I mean, there's a time in the history of the earth when fathers, the role of the father was to teach the son to become a farmer or a warrior, because that was what was necessary. But as things progressed and we got civilized to the point where the sermon is not as important. I mean, mom's kind of hanging on to it a little more, but I think a lot of time most fathers just, yeah, right, so the checkbook here, I just go along with it, because mom seems to find these birthday things and these things so important and things. And there's every now and then you hear a quick about how Mother's Day is more celebrated than Father's. It ought to be, tell the truth. Mothers take celebration a lot more seriously than us guys. And it's, I mean, whatever that is. But ceremonies are so very important. I have a theory that I've been working with for a couple of years, and that the difference between most of us is the conversation that takes place at our dinner table. Think about that for a minute. The conversations that take place at our dinner table. And I'd be more to add, or in the car going to school. I mean, there's a time when, as a young father, we're working hard and coming home 2 o'clock and getting up 6:30 to take kids to school from out at Cherry Garden traffic. A lot of the conversations took place in the car. And we would listen to Mr. Tweets, and any word that I thought needed clarification, I'd throw it out, and who didn't know it had to go do some research and bring it. But you do these things and you don't ever realize what happened. So recently one of my sons was writing a song, and he made a statement. And he said, you know how long I want to use this word in a song? I said, which word? You know? He said, yeah, man, you brought it to our attention one morning we were going to school. I said, wow. Sermons are important. Dinner, even once a month, sit down with the family and have a meal. I know all of us have things now, everybody have a TV in their room and this and that. So I wouldn't even say every day, because it's not going to happen. But at least once a month. I do it, and it makes all the difference. Sometimes 1 or 2 of your kids not into, but because I'm coming to daddy's house, and so everybody have to put things aside. But after a while, you notice and you learn over a period of time some things that just need to just work itself out. But when you see it getting to the point where it's affecting behavior, you step in and say, okay. So the Templar Light offered me a structure. There's a time, I don't remember if everybody remember the time when the Celestine Prophecy was the book to have. And it was about that time that I got on the spiritual journey. I started, so we started to follow anywhere there was a meeting, we were there. And I found this place and realized, here is something that, and the family-like atmosphere was so good. I mean, the hugging after church, which kind of felt a little weird at first, but you realize that here was a community, a village that I needed in my life. And I want to give a joke. Just a couple of days ago, we were in a conversation, and one said to me, "Oh, you're so cool. Not never seen to bother you with anything." And my son said, "I'm the cool before him joined church. After him go temple, him became Gandhi." And so these things are, and I'm laughing, but I'm saying, So another friend of mine, a whole heap of money, dropped me home one day, and him said, "I don't have much more money than you, but you seem so calm and don't seem to bother you and this and that." And what happened? I say, "You want me to tell you? I have 15 minutes. I said, "That's your problem. Me need at least an hour of your time, because if you think that everything else that you need to do is more important than what you're asking me, then you're not going to know." We were there for 2 hours. We were there for 2 hours. And I wasn't talking, we were just talking, my approach and what has worked for me. And a lot of times we don't go back to the things that work for us, Like I was telling this morning, I don't get road rage. Years ago, I decided that this was where I was going to practice, build up my patience muscles. These things are muscles, you know. The more you work, the more you practice at them, the more they grow. So I was determined I was not going to make some like a taxi man or something, make me lose my cool one man. Never. That is not going to happen. You don't have that right to do that to me. And I have a son who have road rage. So I was, and them think I care. I care so much. One of the gifts that I have, and give thanks for it, is my ability to process things very quickly. So I'm sure when I go on my phone after church, there's going to be a phone call that I have to make because there's a fire that I need to put out. Or just somebody who wants a little clarity about something. But I am processing things towards an amicable solution based on love, based on, situation. And it has worked for me. And a lot of people who it hasn't worked for just have not given it enough of a try. And I said to my kids all the while, because I have older kids, and the kids have friends that call me dad and uncle. So beside daddy, I know uncle isn't, no, a lie. Grandpa is the nicest word that ever came out of a child's mouth. And it brings an automatic smile. And I guess it's our reward for all the years when Papa and Mama that give a problem. That's what I tell them. But grandpa is the sweetest word I've ever heard. So that is a special little thing by itself. And I guess today we're celebrating, by extension, Grandpa's Day. So I'm included myself in that and enjoying the moment. But the whole thing about developing these muscles that work for us, if patience can work for you, because you know up yourself and carry on, and that small little thing that you need to do. I mean, sometimes I feel almost guilty about doing certain things. I go into a shop and the place full, And I say, good morning. And right away, the place I see part. And somebody serving me. And the man beside me quarreling, Him don't see him, don't up to know him not pick up. There's like a place I used to go near the studio. After a while, a man said to me, I said, what are you doing? I said, well, you do it too. And when I finished, thank you very much. Have a good day. When my grandmother was alive, she come from the country. And, sometimes she comes to town and we have to follow her or go someplace. As they do in the country, she said good morning or good evening to everybody on the road. It used to embarrass me as a child. Oh, grandma, you don't know me. And what is that? And sometimes she stop and talk to somebody that she don't know. And I say, you know that person? No. But that is a way. It has worked for her all her life. So what I find that worked for me as a human in Jamaica is being polite. As simple as being polite. You go into a place, and don't get me wrong, I've been into the banks, and 15 wickets and 2 people working, and I speak loudly. I don't curse bad word, but I speak loudly. So this is not what you promised in your prospectus. And I count and I say, listen, I am number 15 in this line, and the last person, it took 5 minutes for the last person. Let us do the maths. And before you need to hear this like a hum going on, coming up in the bank, I do it regularly. And there are 2 people, and just by adding 2 people, the line starts to move. And I'm saying, why we sit down and take this? We don't have a quarrel. Just bring it to the attention of the people that ask you to come to business that this is not what you promised. This is not what you promised. But sometimes we have 2 ways of doing things. Or that at all. No, I'm not in the river. I'm in the, you know what I mean? So you're talking to an intelligent person or somebody who is not about reaction or thing. No. It has worked for me. I'm sure it has worked for most of you. So continue to try it. And I'm talking to the young fathers on the internet. I was looking at the surrender prayer this morning. And the surrender prayer could actually be directed to fatherhood. Everybody know the surrender prayer? Mm-hmm. Let us say it together. 1, 2, 3. God grant me the serenity. Accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom and the knowledge. With love. Namaste.
Namaste.
Wow, that really was an insightful talk from Uncle Mikey. 2 points I like to know that really stuck with me from the talk was the point he brought up about the interaction he had with your son's friend. It really opened my eyes in seeing that you really do take fathers for granted sometimes, because I do have friends that don't have their fathers in their lives, and I can see the effect that it has on them, you know, so, yeah. And another thing about remaining calm in certain situations and being polite. Although everybody doesn't, everybody doesn't react the same way when you be polite, but it's still important that you remain grounded in your foundation of, being polite and spreading that joy to other people and that respect. So, yeah. All right, so next we have our musical item, which honors all fathers. It will be performed by Mickel Gordon. Mickel Gordon, sorry. We are happy that Mr. Gordon has chosen to be with us this morning. Please give a round of applause for him.
Mickel Gordon. It's very hard to pronounce. Mickel, yes?
He numbers the stars and he calls them by name. He watches the sparrow and the nest whence it came. He cares for the lilies, so lovely to see, because he loves him so. I know he loves me. He watches the lambs in the fold where they sleep. He cares for the shepherd watching over his sheep. He knows his creations where they may be, because he loves them so. I know he loves me. He numbers the stars and the tears and our smiles. He knows every sparrow and he knows every child. And when I see starlight or birds on the wing, I know my Father loves me, and my heart sings. I know my Father loves me, and my heart sings.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. Please stand and join me in the prayer of Jamaica, found on the insert in your program and on the screen. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. Remain standing. Our second hymn is This Is My Father's World, found on the flyer in the program and on the screen.
This is my Father's world, and to my listening ears, all nature sings and round me rings the music of the spheres. This is my Father's world, I trust in the heart of rocks and trees, of skies and seas, his hand the wonders wrought. This is my Father's world, the birds, the carols raise, the morning light, the lily white, declare their Maker's praise. This is my Father's world, he shines in all that's fair. In the rustling grass I hear him pass, he speaks to me everywhere. This is my Father's world, oh let me ne'er forget that though the wrong seems oft so strong, God is the ruler yet. This is my Father's world, why should my heart be low? His nature fair, each one may share, and all his glories know.
Please remain standing. Take your loving gifts in your hand. If you're home, please remember to use the donate button on the screen. Place your hand over your heart and join me in the love offering blessing found on the envelope and on your screen. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase, and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. Thank you, Father, and so it is. Join me in the closing affirmative prayer. We give thanks for the presence of love in our midst, as all those who have participated in our celebration of the Father principle. We leave this sacred space and know the omnipresence of Spirit protects and guides us, all on our separate pathways. we acknowledge that each one is blessed and prospered wherever they are. Thank you, God, that this is so, and so it is. Now we will sing the peace song. Please remember to join Reverend John tomorrow morning at 6 for quiet moments in the garden. And log on to Zoom for Wednesday evening at 6 for our spiritual enhancement service. Thank you, everyone, and have a joyous day.